Okay, this is a little bit of a run through about how I am currently doing editing of audio when I record an interview with somebody using Zoom. You can use other online video conferencing type things. I've used Hangouts, I've used Skype. Zoom seems to be the most reliable at the moment, but that's, completely up to you. The key thing though is what you need to be able to do is to have a bit of a complicated setup. And that I've documented on a web page that I'll put on a link in the web page this is on and at the end of the video. But basically, you need to have a sound card that enables you to be able to bring in a local microphone that will record you, and then an output from another device, say a phone or a tablet or another PC, that is the audio output from your video conferencing tool, say Zoom. And then you basically are recording on left channel your own microphone, and on right channel the output from the Zoom call. And then whatever device you're using for Zoom, that microphone will be actually bringing your voice to the person that you're interviewing. So you end up with an audio file like I've got here, which has got on the left channel an output from me, and then on the right channel an output from the person I'm speaking to. Now, actually, what I've done here is there's an option within Audacity. This originally came in as a file which had the left and right hard pan, and then what you can do is you can do the option to split stereo track, and that takes the left to one mono channel and the right to another channel. So what you end up with is my speaking there, and then the person I was interviewing speaking there, my speaking here, and so on and so on. Now, what you'll find is you will get audio artifacts, you'll get echo on the other channel, and what this enables you to do is to make completely silent all the bits that aren't when the person is speaking. And that means you can clear up both artifacts that come about because of echo on the line, or echo because the person at the other end has got speakers or whatever else, and also any background noise. I find in the room I record in that I get a lot of background noise from things like rain on the ceiling, and so you can kind of cut all of that out as well. So you end up with something that, whilst not nearly as good as having two people with proper mics in the same room, is pretty good, and that your own audio will be as good as it can be. Now, what you then need to do is to be able to edit the file so that you can bring it back to being a single stereo file, which you can then part as part of your podcast. So I've found a couple of neat little tricks that you can do to be able to enable that to happen more effectively and more quickly. And I end up recording an interview and then being able to edit it in fairly quick time. Now, the first thing, and I've just found out how to do this in the last literally 2 hours, is you can bring in labels that enable you to be able to put the text of what is being said next to the actual audio. And this is done using a piece of online tool called Otter AI, and that can take an audio file and transcribe it, and then it can output it into a format that you can then import to Audacity. Now, that was also, I've just written a blog post that explains how all of that works as well. But then we need to clean up the audio. So to be able to do this, the first trick is you can find an analysis tool, which if you go up to the Analyze option within Audacity, you've got the option to find sound or silence. Now, I've found that finding sound is better than finding silence. Don't ask me why, no idea. But what you can do, click on Sound Finder with the highlighted track. You can set some preferences there about how quiet. I just use the defaults on this, and it chugs away, does some analysis. And what it will end up then doing is creating a new labels track that will give me all of the points of where the audio is loud or quiet. Now, what that means is you can then quite quickly see, and you can see there that it will automatically highlight onto the areas that are quiet. And then if you use Control and L, that will completely silence, and you can see a bit of the line noise that was there when I was talking with Ben yesterday has now disappeared. Again, do it there, and you can see that it's creating the cue points for me to really quickly be able to just do that and do that. And again, that comes out, and again here, and then just do that to that point there, and then quieten it again. And that's put silence now in all the spaces where I didn't want to have text before. I want to just truncate the beginning of this because that was just some ramble where I was just setting up. So we can delete that out. And then what we can do, we can get rid of the label track for mine. We can then go into the label track for Ben's. Now there's a lot less noise on this track because basically the Zoom thing does a lot of noise cancellation automatically. You can see bits and bobs there, and actually you probably don't need to do the thing with getting rid of any noise on that, apart from that little bit of lump there. You can see there's a few bits and bobs here, but these are probably where he is saying something. I can get rid of that because it's not very nice, and then get rid of that one there as well. That's cool. And then what we need to do now is to be able to turn this into a stereo track. You can just record it now out as a single audio mono track, but I'd like to be able to put a bit of pan on either side of the speaker so that each speaker comes from a slightly different space. And then you highlight both tracks, which you want to be able to turn into a single track, and then you do tracks and mix and render, and then that chugs away and produces now a single stereo track that's got the two voices combined. Now the final thing I'm going to do on this is to be able to see if there's any unnecessary silences and automatically remove those as well. So to do that, what you do is you go into effect and you do truncate silence. And I have played around this. You want to make sure that the threshold for it cutting off silence isn't so much that you end up losing the ends of sentences where people go a bit quiet. And so it's at that there, and a minimum set. So if it finds a silence of more than half a second, it will truncate that silence down to half a second. So we'll do that there automatically. You see it all squidges up a little bit. Now at that point, you'll lose the reference points of the edit track there with the transcription, but at this point you're at your final edit anyway. And then if I now play that now, and then that's a single text, a single audio file now, which I've taken the two, truncated it, cleaned out the silence, and being able to get it to a point where it's reasonably leveled as well. The final thing you might want to do is just do a bit of compression on it as well to be able to bring everything up to similar sort of level. The thing with things like Zoom is they do compress anyway, but that then brings everything up so that it is at roughly the same sort of. And I'm not sure if Zoom actually will record the audio bit that I played there. We'll see that when I play it back. Anyway, so that's how to be able to take two tracks and be able to clean up them so that you end up with something that sounds half decent after you've recorded it off something like Zoom.